Hi there, welcome to Kate's Space. Welcome to a little flip through that I'm doing of this little cloth fabric journal that I started ages ago with just some slow stitching and adding things to it, and it's just taken me quite a long time to get it finished. So basically what I did was I just got some of that lovely beautiful soft cotton batting that I had left over from a quilt that I'd made a while ago, and I just covered it with different fabrics and things, and I've done some stitching. I've made some little puffs to put on it. I'm not an embroiderer or an experienced slow stitcher, but I do enjoy it. I have fun. So there's some vintage fabric on here. This one here is vintage with the little Suffolk puff. There's some lovely fabric here that was gifted to me from a friend, some old lace, something from I think a piece of clothing that Joe gifted me. This again is sort of older vintage. So just a mix, mother of pearl buttons holding on, just stitched over the ribbon that holds it closed. It just has 2 signatures and it has about 86 pages in there. I haven't made a soft cover journal before. This is the first time, and I lined it with this other lovely fabric that was gifted to me by Lynn, and I've stitched that around with the machine, and I put a belly band through the whole book made from this. This is actually a vintage grosgrain, wide grosgrain ribbon. With this lace is also vintage, some seam binding and a mixture of buttons there. Oop, there we go. And yeah, it just goes through, and there's a tiny little puff with a pearl button, and yeah, so that's stitched there and there, and obviously stitched in the middle where the signatures go in. Oh, I'm just getting the angle right here. So I made these little postcards. This is some scrapbooking card or paper that was gifted to me from my friend Barb, and it's got these little cherubs all over it, and I had a postcard that I didn't love the front of, so I have added that with some book page to the postcard, and I think that turned out pretty cute. I guess you could do a little bit of writing on here. Anyway, it just sits in the front there, and it gives that some kind of, I don't know, it sort of strengthens, or not that it needs strengthening, but just makes it stiff, because without that it's just literally, there's nothing in there except for fabric and the cotton quilt batting. This is a little page out of a vintage Language of Flowers birthday book. This is vintage 1960s lawyer's ledger. This is a page out of a book that I've been using and got heaps of use out of, which is like a flower, Victorian flower diary or something. This is a really old grungy glass button that I haven't scrubbed because I don't want it to lose the patina, but yeah, it might, I don't know what will happen if you give that a scrub. It might look better or it might look worse. And this is just a piece of old lace that's been ripped off a piece of clothing at some point. This is an image out of an old vintage or antique book. I just really liked the image. And then I love the back, because we all know that I love that beautiful creamy old book page. This is some coffee dyed paper. This is a piece out of a old rent book from the 30s or 40s, I think. It's just really nice. Some old music paper with this ruffle, with this gorgeous vintage floral cotton fabric. And then I've folded it up to make a pocket, and I've put one of the tags in there. I have a tutorial, or not a tutorial, but a craft with me making these tags. So these are made out of, and this one's actually backed as well with a with 6x6 paper. sits in there. I'll just pop that wing underneath so it doesn't get caught. This is some avocado dyed paper, and here is a little kind of collage fabric snippety thing that I've made, hand stitched, and then it's been glued onto this paper. This is, I think this paper is, this is a sketch paper, and it's been in the black bean dye. It's just a very pale grey sort of blue. This is a book, page out of a book. I just love the floral image here. This is some more fabric, obviously ruffled onto some pink. This is pink copy paper, I think, and this is an image from a very old book. It's still got the, I've glued it onto here to strengthen it. There's no way it would handle otherwise, and it's still got the old tissue that, you know, that covered the image. I love the old grungy look of that. This is one of the little postcards that I made following a tutorial on the Graphics Fairy blog. Heather from Ruby and Pearl did a tutorial, a craft tutorial, and it's got some lace on there and a rusty paper clip and some gold around the edge, and I've put some of that vintage ledger from the 1960s on the back there. Lots of space to write in, as is what usually is with my journals. Here's another little tag I've made. So this is fabric. This is that same vintage fabric that I love. I love this fabric so much. So I made it into a tag. It's backed with some manila. Oh, actually this was a luggage tag. And then I've put tulle over the top, this old lace, sort of embroidered tulle. And then I've put a Tim Holtz scrap, wallpaper scrap on it, and hung a little miniature jewelry tag on there. I really liked how that turned out. It's kind of cute. I've reinforced the pages that needed reinforcing. There's a little one of those little tabs, page tabs with the paper clip and a little bead, little pearl, and a little pink glass bead on there. I thought that was quite cute. Some little snowdrops. And that's the end of that signature, and you can see the belly band in the middle there. I thought that was just so cute. Here's a snippet I made. It's got some of the stuff on it, so I thought that tied in quite nicely with a shell button, or mother of pearl button. I think mother and pearl buttons and shell buttons are the same thing. This is just copy dyed card. I've slipped in one of the lovely old vintage playing cards into here with a lovely lady on it, on the stall. Some more music, some more out of that book, and that's folded up to make a little wee pocket. A little collage tag in there, and another one of the cards, vintage cards, and another tag that I made. Or no, actually this was an already made tag, and I've backed it onto some of this pale pink, quite cool paper that you could write on, and then it's got a little lace up the top there. More of the blue, the bluey grey sketch paper. Gorgeous floral piece out of that beautiful florally images book I've got. Avocado. Some music manuscript paper. Here's another little snippety thing, and I've put one of the little yo-yos I made that I didn't use on the cover. Yo-yos or Suffolk puffs. A little bit of handkerchief. And some lace and some beads, glass beads. I don't know if you can see the beads there. In the middle I've put one of Fraser's letters to Ruth, darling Ruthie, and this was written on the 28th of August 1924, and he's writing from China, where he was working for the Asiatic Petroleum Company, which I think later became Shell. So, yep, I've popped that in the middle there. You can read that letter. in this lace pocket, I've popped a little fire and accident insurance receipt or check or something. I'm not sure what you call that, but that's from, it's pretty old, 1946, and this old check from 1929, cancelled check from the Bank of New Zealand. And here's another one of those tags that I had, and I've backed it with that lovely pink. And then I've also made this little journaling card, which was something I had. I just liked that, and I've backed that with some of that 6x6 paper that I'm trying to use up. I made a pocket here out of this handkerchief, and that's the same as this torn bit in this snippet. So I've made a little pocket on this page, and inside that I've popped this old French postcard with this gorgeous lady on it. She slips in there. I've popped this vintage envelope here with some old lace. That's from, oh, I don't know what time period it's from, but I've got all these lace sample papers, and this is one that's fallen off the actual paper, so I've left the sticker on and I've stitched it on there. I think that's, oh yes, I've wrapped that pocket around. This letter here was written, oh, this is from 1950, and that's written to someone in Epsom, which is a suburb of Auckland. And in here I've popped a couple of French things, actually, a couple of French little receipts. That's from 1938, and this one from 1938, both from 1938. So I've just popped those in that envelope there. And it just flips closed like that. Another little tuck spot here, and that's the end of the book. And this is one of my collage journaling cards that has coffee dyed cardstock on the back, and again that gives that some more support. So that's that little book. I've never made one like this before, like I said, with just quite a floppy freeform sort of cover, and it was hard for me, but I really love how it's turned out. And it's just a really dinky little size. I didn't actually say how big it is if anyone's interested. It's about 6.5 by, I don't know, it's hard to measure, 4.5, which is about 16 by 12-ish centimeters. And it's got lots of, yeah, it's really interesting and raggedy, and it's got raw edges, and yeah, it's quite a cutie actually. And I think I'll pop this up in my Etsy store. I'm not sure. What do you all think? But yeah, it's quite a different kind of journal for me. I hope everybody's well and staying safe and well out there in the world. Thanks for all your support, and thanks for watching this little flip through, and I hope I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.